What's up everybody, in this video I'm going to be reviewing Emma Frost in Marvel Rivals, discussing her new abilities, comparing her to other tanks and speculating how she's going to change or slash integrate into the tank meta and just the overall game. Obviously with this it's going to be through the trailer that released, as we don't have any official gameplay and obviously she's not released yet. But I just wanted to, take a look a bit deeper into her. That sounded a bit odd. But take a look further into what she does and how she'll play out. Because obviously I've seen quite a few mixed reviews, to be honest with you. In terms of on TikTok, YouTube, Discord, everyone's had mixed reviews with her. So I wanted to look in depth and really see, is this going to be a great ad or no? So without further ado, let's get into the video. So going into the first bit of gameplay, as you can see this is obviously a left click, and we're just going to pause there and rewind just a little bit. And the first thing I noticed when I seen this, so go back a bit further, is that she does quite a lot of damage for a tank. I know tanks are generally, supposed to be very, high intense damage, but compared to Venom, in terms of his left click, in my opinion, Venom's left click is really underwhelming. And the first thing I also thought was solo tank potential. Immediately, I just thought of Thor when I saw Emma Frost, because her attacks are she can do more than just sponge damage, which is obviously the primary use for tanks. That's their main purpose. It's to take damage and protect the rest of your team, your strats, your DPS, yada yada. So yeah, a left click right out the gate looks pretty powerful, and I'm quite happy with that, because I have tried out the tanks, and generally I just don't really like them, because I just feel like I'm literally there to sponge damage. I can't really do anything else. Obviously, combos and whatnot, some characters you can be an absolute menace with them. But nevertheless, let's just move forward. So, got the left click, absolutely amazing. So this is a right click, and then into the E, it seems like. Let's just go back there. One more time. I'm not quite sure what she's doing. It's hard to, without the, the details that you get when you're in game and you can just hit F1 and see what, everything does. It's kind of hard to figure out what is exactly going on. But so she right clicks, places something down. From my understanding, this kind of seems like a Moon Knight with his onks. You throw it down, you fire at whatever she's placed down, and it does more damage, because obviously there's a health bar on it, so clearly it can be destroyed like an onk. So a tank with DPS capabilities, once again, is the first thing I thought. And also, just to look in the bottom left, her ammo is quite insane. Now, I don't know too much about tanks, because obviously I've not played enough of them, but this seems pretty high in terms of, ammo, so to speak, which is, pretty good. And then, let's just keep going. So yeah, it seems to be like a essentially damage amplifier, like Moon Knight. And then this is a shield. Now, I'm not going to lie, this kind of just looks like a over-glorified Sue Storm shield, to be honest with you. I like the visual aesthetic of the fact it's a diamond, because obviously that's what she's associated with. But in terms of actual gameplay, look at the angles. I wish you could see my mouse. Maybe you can. But the angles there's just so many, Squirrel Girls projectiles just can bounce right underneath that and hit whoever's stood behind here. Nemo squids, if there's one there, you can just shoot through there, he'll clip you in the legs. I'm not a massive fan of the shield, so Magneto, obviously, square, long shield. Strange, big ass shield. None of this, angle business. I feel like this is going to be very underwhelming and not very useful in the grand scheme of tanking damage and protecting the rest of the team. But we'll see. In terms of the shield HP, compared to the rest of the tanks, this seems a bit mid. It's not insane, but it's not terrible. And then moving forward, obviously, that's one good thing though, which I've just realised as I was talking shit about how underwhelming the shield seems to be. Once it's down, and you still have full control to still do damage yourself. But there again, a stationary shield, it's only going to be useful for specific situations such as chokeholds, or if you place it down at the right angle, then you're absolutely laughing. But the one thing that Magneto and Doctor Strange has over Emma Frost is, yeah, they can't shoot through their shields because they're too busy holding up the shield, but they can maneuver that shield and angle it. So if someone tries flanking around the shield, they can readjust to stop that. Projectiles coming in from one angle, or the front line's changed, yada yada, or your back line has moved into a position where they're more vulnerable, you can readjust as and when the situation plays out. Which is why I think she might be underwhelming in that respect. And then that there was it a right click? Let's just go back there. So yeah, she hits the right click and just completely deflects Iron Man's ult. Now I think this is where it's going to be a very good advantage. Obviously, like, again, comparing it to Sue Storm Shield is tiny. You can't really use it to pull off tricks like this, and also the shield's only deployed where a character's stood. You can't like physically position it and aim it freely, if that makes sense. So for things like this, in terms of ult deflection and protection, that's mega. That really is. And then moving on, so she just did something there, but I didn't see what activated. I'm not quite sure what she did there, but seems like her melee capabilities are, really good, as well as so she's got a long range, essentially like shooter attack, and obviously a melee is just as useful, because normally it's most characters in this game, I've noticed, have one or the other. Either they have really strong melee capabilities, or they have really strong projectile long range capabilities. I don't think there's many that have both. She appears to have both. So again, going back into the idea of, like a 4 solo tank slash, she's kind of like a tank DPS, if you want to put it like that. And then this move right here just looks absolutely sick. I love how they, positioned it all for him to just face plant the wall. That was amazing. But let's just go back and see. I'm guessing that was a combo from a melee, so 1, 2, 3, get the combo hit. Yeah, that must have been a combo, which is absolutely amazing. One more thing is that was sick, by the way. Another thing as well, let's just go back there to the HP bar. 650 health for a tank. It's kind of meh compared to other tanks. It's kind of on the lower end, especially since Penny Parker got a buff. Oh, he's getting a buff with this new update. So she's kind of a little on the weaker side, but again, with all the DPS capabilities and her shield, it kind of makes it fair, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want a too tanky, but then too strong in terms of offensive capabilities, like offense and defense. If they're both OP into one character, then it's just not going to be fair. It's just going to be ridiculous. So, although it's not great, in retrospective, it's fair. And I think that's all there is to this. Is there any? Oh no, there's still more. My bad. Oh yeah, oh, how could I forget? So it seems to be essentially a stun lock, but you can drag the enemies towards you. Can they still attack? It doesn't seem like it, no. Unless it's just because the bots, we'll see. But again, a pretty good ult. Obviously, the trailer makes a very specific scenario where it makes the ult look super OP. Obviously, this, you're not going to be able to replicate this often, let's be honest. So this is kind of over glorifying her ult, I'm not going to lie. But in terms of, she's stun locking the enemies. They can't seem to escape it as long as it's in a, radius area of effect, and it's dragging them towards you. Which again, you can do things such as separate the team and kind of dismantle the formation you have. If, say, these characters were weak when you use their ult, obviously it does damage over time as well. So if you've got like two tanks that are weak, their healers are like over here, and you start dragging them towards you, and you're just slowly finishing them off. And also, as you can see, Torch or Iron Man's in the left. So while they're stunned, he could be there annoying the backline or just helping you finish off whoever you're ulting on. So again, it seems like a pretty solid ult. We'll see how effective it is when the gameplay comes out. Now, a lot of people have said overall this character seems kind of underwhelming in terms of tanks. I strongly disagree. I think most of the tanks are very, not just boring, but like practically just underwhelming. Venom is just like a bulky Spider-Man. He's really good for annoying people, dipping in and out, irritating the backlines. You can't really kill him unless the player's really dumb. And then Penny Parker, literally, if it weren't for her mine abilities, she'd be useless. Thor, pretty solid solo tank again. If it's in the right hands, he's a very annoying and dangerous player. Strange is obviously pretty OP. Magneto, again, pretty OP, but if he's in the right hands. And then, who else? Groot's very OP. Now, in terms of where she'll sit, I feel like she'll sit more with Thor in terms of DPS capabilities and solo tanking, and being more of an offensive option as well as defensive, whereas someone like Groot is just more, and Strange is more defensive only. So I think she's going to be an absolutely amazing addition. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you agree, disagree. Is there anything I missed? Or if there's any, other input or suggestions you've got, let me know. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.